Many thanks, Andrew. Donald Trump has a clear advantage in the race for the White House after winning the crucial swing states of Florida, Ohio, North Carolina and Iowa. Votes are still being counted and the race isn't over yet, but Mrs. Clinton now has a by far harder path to victory. Laura Bicker has a story.
The polls did not predict it, but Donald Trump's supporters did, and they celebrated every win at his election party in New York. The results from key battleground states have given the businessman a clear path to victory. As he watched and waited, he prevailed in Florida, in Ohio, in North Carolina. In contrast, Hillary Clinton's headquarters have been downcast, disbelieving. Her bid to become the first female president looks in doubt. The highest elected Republican in the US looked jubilant. Donald Trump has caused division within the party, but now perhaps he's also brought hope.
We have so much potential in this country, so much potential. And if we can just tap it, that's what's ahead of us. You know, by some accounts, I've just been sitting there watching the polls. By some accounts, this could be a really good night for America. This could be a good night for us.
Millions headed to the polls in this closely fought election. Donald Trump's message that America should come first, that he and he alone could fix a broken political system, appears to have resonated across the United States. There are still votes to be counted. This battle is not yet over. Millions of ballots have been cast, but the winner could now be decided by just a few thousand people in a few key states. Laura Bicker, BBC News, Washington.
In the congressional races, the Republicans look set to hold on to their majorities in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Republican Senator John McCain has kept his seat in Arizona. After thanking voters, he called on Republicans and Democrats to work together for the good of the people.
I promise you, I will work as hard as I ever have, use all my knowledge and experience and relationships, and extend an open hand to our new president and my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to solve our problems together as fellow Americans who have more in common than we have differences.
Stock markets have fallen sharply as a victory for Donald Trump became increasingly likely. The markets in Japan and Australia had initially opened higher when projections suggested Mrs. Clinton would win, but all major markets in the region are now down. US stock futures fell by more than 4% as the results came in, suggesting a sharp drop when trading resumes on Wall Street later on Wednesday. Currencies are equally volatile. The Mexican peso dropped to a record low, and the Japanese yen, which is considered a safe haven, is on the rise. Now, aside from choosing politicians, voters in a number of US states are having their say on other issues. In California, voters have endorsed the recreational use of marijuana, a move correspondents say could have a profound effect on the international war on drugs. Earlier, voters in Florida passed a state constitutional amendment to allow the use of the drug for medical conditions. Elsewhere, voters are having their say on whether to raise the minimum wage, abolish the death penalty, and on whether to tighten controls on guns and ammunition.